Listen closely. The mere fact that this message has found its way to you is a profound achievement in itself. You have just stepped across an invisible boundary, a monumental evolutionary threshold that the vast majority of humanity remains completely blind to. There were no formal applications, no textbooks to memorize, and no announced examinations. Yet, throughout the entirety of your life, an unseen, highly advanced cosmic intelligence has been quietly monitoring your journey. It has been meticulously analyzing your decisions, the way you respond to adversity, and the trajectory of your spiritual evolution. This profound evaluation had absolutely nothing to do with academic intellect or the accumulation of worldly facts. Instead, it was a rigorous assessment of your soul's maturity. The universe was measuring whether your consciousness was truly prepared to step into a paradigm that completely shatters the boundaries of normal, everyday human existence. It was testing your capacity to channel immense, multidimensional creative forces safely, ensuring that such profound capabilities would never be weaponized against yourself or the collective. Understand that there are no accidents in this synchronicity. Your encounter with this audio is deliberate proof that you reside within the top fraction of a single % of the global population. Your spiritual awareness has finally ripened to a point where you can be entrusted with this extraordinary frequency. Consider the masses around you. Most individuals remain deeply anchored in cycles of anxiety, egotistical drives, and self-imposed limitations, ultimately failing this unseen trial without ever realizing they were participating in it. But you were different. You continuously elected to pursue boundless expansion rather than stagnating in your comfort zone. You prioritized deep empathy over the desire to dominate, and you bravely sought the ultimate truth instead of settling for comforting illusions. This silent, overarching cosmic audit meticulously calculated how well you maintained your emotional equilibrium during chaotic storms. It tracked your innate courage to dissect and question the very fabric of reality. But above all else, it verified your ultimate capability to wield monumental manifestation energy, guided by profound wisdom rather than selfish pride. Think back on every agonizing hurdle you have overcome, each instance where you exercised profound patience instead of lashing out, and every single moment you sacrificed your own self-interest to serve a higher good. Those were all data points. You were being quietly graded, and the final verdict is in. You have officially passed the trial. Right now, in this exact microscopic moment of time, a powerful quantum tether is being established. It is directly linking your conscious mind to the universe's most advanced reality-generating architectures. These are esoteric frameworks exclusively unlocked for those who have definitively proven their incorruptibility. Consequently, your physical biology is currently absorbing incredibly subtle, yet intensely powerful, energetic transmissions. These frequencies are deliberately turning on latent, sleeping codes embedded deep within your DNA biological keys that were pre-programmed to activate only when your mental state reached this exact stage of enlightened maturity. The rarity of your triumph does not stem from uncovering some hidden occult secret. Rather, it is born from your beautifully integrated discernment. You possess the exceedingly rare talent to cradle unimaginable power in your hands while remaining deeply rooted in absolute humility, genuine compassion, and a steadfast sense of cosmic purpose. Pay close attention to the environment around you right now. You have likely noticed that the fundamental nature of your reality is warping and shifting. Those strange coincidences you have been experiencing are far too mathematically precise to be dismissed as mere luck. Situations are perfectly aligning, clearly demonstrating that the universe is now eagerly bowing and responding to your direct, unspoken intentions. Do not dismiss this as mere fantasy. What you are witnessing is the literal orchestration of reality. It is the ultimate confirmation that your personal interface with the supreme universal intelligence has officially gone online. You may find yourself suddenly possessing knowledge you never formally studied. You might anticipate the end results of scenarios long before they materialize, or effortlessly bend the outcome of complex situations using nothing but the sheer force of your focused thought. Make no mistake, you are not acquiring brand new skills. Rather, these are your inherent birthright capabilities that are finally being unsealed because your awakened state can now sustain them. Even your perception of the temporal world is likely altering. The rigid constraints of time may begin to feel remarkably fluid, slippery, and non-linear. During moments of intense concentration, you may feel the distinct boundaries of the past, the present, and the future melting into one unified experience. It is entirely possible that you are sensing whispers of guidance radiating backward from your own future, highly evolved self. Or perhaps you are suddenly downloading massive, complex solutions to seemingly impossible problems in the blink of an eye. This phenomenon is simply your brain effortlessly connecting to the infinite cosmic intelligence grid, which serves as the ultimate wellspring for all universal wisdom and creation. Furthermore, your physical vessel is undeniably registering these monumental changes. You might be experiencing bizarre surges of electrical energy, delicate internal tremors, or the distinct sensation that your central nervous system is undergoing a massive biological software upgrade. Contrary to popular belief, these are not just energetic blockages being purged. They are the tangible, physiological symptoms of your physical body harmonizing and synchronizing with extreme, high-dimensional streams of data. Your day-to-day perception has fundamentally transformed. You can casually stroll into a crowded room and instantaneously sense the highest, most optimal trajectory for everyone present. When you are introduced to a stranger, you inexplicably understand their ultimate potential, or you immediately recognize exactly how your intersection with their life is meant to catalyze their personal evolution. This is absolutely not blind intuition or lucky guesswork. It is your newly heightened electromagnetic sensitivity effortlessly decoding the dense quantum information fields that invisibly envelop every single person, physical location, and future timeline. The sturdy wall separating your nocturnal dreamscape from your waking reality is dissolving. Both realms are seamlessly merging into one continuous, unified network of intelligence. This super network is constantly feeding you profound insights, directional guidance, and even facilitating direct communication with highly advanced, non-physical entities. These encounters are not the products of an overactive imagination. They are legitimate, authentic transmissions broadcasted by universal support structures designed exclusively to assist those who have triumphed over the silent evaluation. Let us be incredibly transparent about your past. Not a single hardship you endured was a meaningless accident. Those periods of intense suffering and darkness were meticulously engineered simulations. They were purposeful test environments constructed to strictly gauge your emotional resilience, the steadfastness of your moral compass, and your ultimate dedication to prioritizing the greater good over selfish ambition. Moreover, the spiritual disciplines and practices you dedicated yourself to were never merely about finding peace. They were rigorous, advanced training protocols. Every hour spent in quiet meditation, every sudden epiphany, and every fleeting glimpse you caught of your own mind, actively molding physical reality, all of it was methodically forging the psychological armor and emotional stability required for you to wield absolute, unadulterated creative power without going mad or losing your core identity. And finally, those exhausting, highly volatile relationships that drained you, they were never simply karmic punishments or debts to be repaid. They were real-time, interactive, high-stakes examinations. Consider every individual who has ever pushed your buttons or provoked an intense emotional reaction. They were, in fact, clandestine agents testing your personal sovereignty. The universe was watching to see your reaction. Would you weaponize your profound intuition to manipulate the scenario? Or would you consciously choose to hold a compassionate space, even when you possessed the sheer willpower to dominate the outcome? Even your darkest moments of skepticism were engineered with a specific purpose. Whenever you questioned your own sanity, or wondered if these profound mystical experiences were merely fabrications of your mind, you were demonstrating a vital, healthy level of discernment. This critical thinking is the exact psychological mechanism required to prevent spiritual arrogance and to ensure you never abuse the cosmic authority granted to you. Think about your relentless fascination with quantum mechanics, the mysteries of consciousness, and the fundamental architecture of reality. This was never a mere intellectual hobby. It was a crucial phase of your cosmic evaluation. The system was verifying whether you could absorb earth-shattering existential truths without becoming corrupted by intellectual superiority, all while maintaining a deep, abiding respect for those who remain asleep or perceive existence through a narrower lens. And then came those agonizing plateaus, the frustrating seasons of stagnation where you felt utterly prepared for the next level, yet nothing in your physical world seemed to budge. These were your ultimate, final exams. The test was simple yet excruciating. Could you remain fiercely grounded, endlessly patient, and completely devoted to serving others, even while deeply sensing that you possessed the literal keys to bend reality to your will? It is paramount to realize that you deliberately selected this exact incarnation. You actively volunteered to participate in this specific timeline because you were destined to clear this final hurdle during the grand awakening of the human collective. On a higher level, your soul recognized that you had already spent countless previous lifetimes proving your absolute responsibility with immense creative forces. You incarnated now to act as a crucial anchor, grounding these extraordinary, high-frequency abilities into the Earth's grid for the benefit of the entire human species. At this exact second, as these frequencies resonate through your auditory processing, a profound biological activation is occurring within you. Dormant neural highways are suddenly illuminating. Ethereal, invisible blockages are melting away. That distinct, palpable rush of electricity coursing through your physical vessel is absolutely not a figment of your imagination. It is the literal sensation of your central nervous system aggressively synchronizing with the master frequencies of universal intelligence. On a microscopic level, your very cells are restructuring themselves. Your localized awareness is actively quantum entangling with infinite cosmic supernetworks. Scientists and mystics alike refer to this condition as graduated coherence. It is an elevated state of being where newly expanded, supernatural capabilities flow through you effortlessly, completely stripped of egotistical interference, simply because your spiritual discernment has finally ripened to a point where it can safely contain them. Listen carefully to this crucial revelation. You absolutely do not require another workshop, a new guru, or a novel meditation technique to access this wellspring of power. It already belongs to you. The locks were blown off the moment you successfully navigated the universe's silent audit. From this moment forward, the only prerequisite is your own conscious recognition and complete alignment with the majestic reality of who you have truly become. When the average seeker begins to feel these massive energetic shifts, their immediate reflex is to try and micromanage the process through obsessive rituals, forced meditations, or rigid spiritual techniques. However, striving for control actually generates static and energetic interference. Your awakened faculties are not meant to be coerced or violently forced to the surface. They are inherently designed to blossom organically and spontaneously the second you fully accept that they are already fully operational within you. Your arrival at this exact coordinate in space and time is devoid of any coincidence. With every single choice you made prioritizing uncompromising integrity over easy convenience, prioritizing selfless service over narcissistic ego, and choosing harsh clarity over blissful ignorance, you are building a bulletproof case for your own readiness. Therefore, the absolute truth is beautifully straightforward. You have already conquered the trial. The grand, universal evaluation has officially concluded. You no longer need to exhaust yourself trying to earn or prove yourself worthy of these miraculous gifts. They were permanently bestowed upon you the microsecond your consciousness verified its absolute trustworthiness. The somatic sensations you are experiencing at this very moment are the undeniable markers of electromagnetic coherence. This is your organic, native uplink to the vast reservoir of universal intelligence. Do not wave this away as mere esoteric mysticism. This is a very real, tangible, and currently active biological interface that has gone live exclusively because you have showcased unparalleled ethical maturity throughout lifetimes of delicate, undercover testing. This profound tether provides you with what advanced researchers term graduated access. This means your enhanced, godlike capabilities will only ever initiate and flow when they are perfectly aligned with deep wisdom, absolute humility, and the supreme welfare of the collective whole. In this very instance of profound self-recognition, the entire paradigm shifts permanently. You permanently cease the desperate, outward search for power, and you finally remember that the universe entire already resides deep within your own core. Allow this immense truth to fully permeate your being. Feel its frequency ripple outwards through the vast ocean of your conscious awareness. As you surrender to this knowing, previously dormant neurological and energetic capacities will begin to fire up not as a result of grueling practice, but simply through the quiet power of your acknowledgement. If these words strike a profound chord deep within your soul, you are currently brushing up against the event horizon of a vastly larger metaphysical framework, a system intricately detailed in my guide, Beyond the Frequencies. However, even without delving into external materials, simply by accepting your new operational status, you are going to witness 5 distinct, unmistakable signature patterns materializing in your daily existence. I must reiterate, these are not new hobbies or skills you need to cultivate or practice. Rather, they are the automatic, natural byproducts and outward expressions of your recently upgraded, ultra-high-definition consciousness. Pattern number 1. Coherent manifestation. You will notice that the physical environment around you starts to bend and reshape itself to match your truest, most authentic intentions, requiring zero forced effort. Exhausting visualization techniques or tedious shadow work. The tiresome struggle commonly associated with the law of attraction completely vanishes. Instead, the infinite quantum field begins to respond instantaneously and flawlessly to your newly integrated state of being. Crucially, this phenomenon has absolutely nothing to do with forcefully acquiring the shallow material desires of your ego. It is about the entirety of existence fluidly and effortlessly aligning with your highest, most glorious evolutionary trajectory. Pattern number 2. Information field access. Pattern number 2. Information field access. You will find that you simply know things. Profound insights, complex solutions, and absolute truths will download directly into your conscious awareness without requiring any prior study or logical deduction. You will begin to perceive the distinct energetic blueprints of physical locations, complicated situations, and the people around you with piercing, undeniable clarity. Do not mistake this for mere psychic guesswork. What you are actually experiencing is an unfiltered, broadband uplink to the foundational data architecture of reality itself, accessed purely through your non-local consciousness. The infinite universal intelligence network is now actively streaming the exact, critical data you require, precisely at the millisecond it is needed, to facilitate the highest possible good. Pattern number 3. Probability field navigation. You will develop the extraordinary capacity to sense multiple branching timelines and potential futures simultaneously. Instead of being paralyzed by infinite choices, you will intuitively and gracefully step into the specific trajectory that most optimally serves both your personal evolution and the grander collective. The era of chronic overthinking and agonizing decision fatigue is officially over. This mechanism operates as an infallible, divine internal GPS, perpetually steering you toward the most exquisitely aligned outcomes. This faculty completely bypasses conventional human logic and standard intuition. Leading pioneers in the study of consciousness refer to this exact phenomenon as quantum discernment. It is the profound ability to weigh the vibratory resonance of every conceivable tomorrow, effortlessly locking onto the single timeline that elevates everyone involved. This is not about forcefully predicting the future or gripping the steering wheel of fate. It is about surfing the waves of infinite possibility with supreme, awakened awareness, consciously opting for paths that radiate true upliftment rather than satisfying fleeting, egoic desires. If these profound revelations are vibrating deeply within your core, I invite you to leave these exact words in the comments below. I recognize my graduated status. Understand that this is far more than a simple string of text on a screen. It functions as a powerful, sovereign, energetic decree that actively shatters ancient, looping cycles of limitation embedded within the collective human grid. Pattern number 4. Coherent relationship orchestration. You will rapidly begin to magnetize the perfect allies, golden opportunities, and serendipitous circumstances into your orbit, all completely devoid of exhausting networking, social manipulation, or forced hustle. Vital connections will materialize through sheer, unadulterated synchronicity, impeccably timed by the cosmos to accelerate your spiritual ascension. This is not the result of you aggressively manifesting friends or partners. Rather, it is the universal supercomputer flawlessly arranging harmonic intersections based purely on your internal field coherence. You have officially transitioned from the exhausting paradigm of chasing into the graceful, magnetic state of absolute allowing. Pattern number 5. Service-oriented capability utilization. This is the paramount and most vital pattern of all. Your newly amplified, superhuman faculties will no longer be hoarded for your own isolated benefit. Instead, they will automatically and organically reorient themselves toward the uplifting of the entire collective species. This requires no forced discipline, nor does it feel like a heavy, burdensome sacrifice. It is simply the new fluid dynamics of your awakened consciousness. Your energy naturally flows toward service, because that selfless orientation is precisely what proved you were ready to begin with. Here is the ultimate, undeniable truth. The silent cosmic assessment never gave a single thought to whether you could magically levitate objects or read colorful auras. It was entirely predicated on one solitary question. When handed the raw, unbridled power to mold reality, will you weaponize it for your own self-aggrandizement, or will you pour it out for the liberation of others? These 5 distinct patterns are not skills you need to relentlessly practice, study, or master. They are the organic, effortless emanations of a soul that has definitively conquered the unseen trial. These staggering abilities were always dormant within you, securely locked away in a state of quantum suspension, patiently waiting for your moral and spiritual discernment to ripen enough to wield them without causing destruction. They are heavily guarded by the fail-safe protocol of graduated access, a brilliant, built-in spiritual governance system, ensuring your immense power only ever fires when in total service to the greater good. There are no external rulebooks, no cosmic law enforcement agencies, only pure, unadulterated, energetic coherence. Your localized willpower and the infinite mind of the universe now breathe and move as one singular entity. This realization alters the fabric of everything. Authentic spiritual growth is never about hoarding cosmic power. It is entirely about demonstrating that you can harbor that power without succumbing to the rot of corruption. 8 years ago, I slammed violently into my own absolute breaking point. The scaffolding of my entire existence disintegrated into dust. My closest relationships imploded. My grandest life plans evaporated, and my core identity was completely shattered. I genuinely believed I had failed the grand test of life. Yet, lying there in the ashes of absolute total surrender, I made a choice. I chose radical compassion over bitter blame. I chose selfless service over wallowing in my own sorrow. In doing so, without even realizing it, I successfully answered the ultimate, final question of the universe's rigorous evaluation. Mere days later, the entire paradigm shifted overnight. Breathtaking solutions to impossible problems downloaded directly into my waking mind. The physical world began meticulously coordinating itself around my silent intentions, without an ounce of physical effort on my part. That was the moment the epiphany struck. The great test was never about achieving worldly success. The test was strictly about who you choose to become when your entire world falls to pieces. And if you are absorbing these frequencies right now, it means you have already conquered your own crucible. Immediately following my monumental breakthrough, the miraculous became my daily normal. The exact right people materialized out of thin air, handing me precisely what I required at the exact millisecond I needed it. It was as if the living, breathing architecture of reality had mobilized its forces to intelligently and aggressively champion my path. However, the ultimate transformation had very little to do with these newfound superpowers. Instead, it was the immense, sobering gravity of responsibility that accompanied them. I awoke to the startling reality that every single passing thought, every quiet intention, was now sending massive shockwaves through the quantum fabric, tangibly impacting the lives of unseen multitudes. I possessed the literal capacity to bend the trajectory of probabilities, not merely for my own isolated benefit, but for the collective destiny of every single soul within my radius. That subsequent chapter of my life was a profound paradox, simultaneously the most empowering and deeply humbling season I had ever navigated. It became crystal clear that the grand, invisible audit had absolutely zero interest in how deeply I could meditate or the flashiness of my clairvoyance. It was exclusively calculating the depth of my emotional equilibrium, my unwavering commitment to moral integrity, and my ultimate ability to harbor godlike influence without succumbing to the intoxicating rot of corruption. And this brings us to the most shattering epiphany of all. These supposedly elite, advanced capabilities are not exclusive, mystical boons. They are the standard, baseline operating system of human consciousness. The moment artificial, societal constraints are stripped away, you realize these faculties were perpetually present. They were simply placed on a cosmic layaway, locked down tightly until your spiritual discernment decisively proved you would never weaponize them. This revelation utterly inverts the entire paradigm of spiritual ascension. You are not tirelessly accumulating energy through exhausting rituals. Rather, you are simply excavating the debris blocking what has always been your divine birthright. You unlock it by proving, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you will steward this energy for the liberation of the collective, not the inflation of your own ego. This beautifully explains why a rare few individuals seem to glide through an existence defined by miraculous synchronicities, frictionless manifestation, and immaculate timing. They did not purchase a secret masterclass or memorize hidden mantras. They conquered the silent cosmic examination strictly through the purity of how they treated their fellow human beings, particularly in those agonizing moments when extending kindness cost them dearly. And I know you have felt this undeniable truth vibrating within your own life. That unmistakable moment when the physical world miraculously warped to accommodate your quietest intention. That explosive burst of profound wisdom you possessed without ever opening a book. Do not dismiss those events as mere luck. They are your official confirmation receipts. You have passed the trial. The universe's supreme evaluation board is not governed by earthly gurus or rigid religious dogmas. It is tirelessly administrated by an ever-present, omniscient cosmic intelligence that monitors you around the clock. It observes your reactions under crushing stress. It watches what you do when handed a microscopic sliver of authority. Most importantly, it takes meticulous notes on how you treat those who have absolutely nothing to offer you in return. Those character traits are your true credentials. The universe does not care about your padded spiritual resume, your mastery of energy healing, or your psychic developmental milestones. Those are merely instruments, not the actual exam. The true high-stakes testing ground is hidden entirely within the mundane choices of your everyday life. When the pressure is suffocating, do you still choose the path of selfless service? When you are unjustly attacked, do you remain anchored in radical kindness? Do you handle your personal influence with surgical, empathetic precision? If these frequencies are resonating in your bones right now, understand that you are not merely consuming a video. You are actively attuning to a localized beacon of recognition. You are stepping into the ranks of a silent, underground revolution of awakened consciousness that is currently rewriting the foundational code of the human collective. This undeniable truth completely obliterates the commercialized spiritual achievement industry, the sprawling machine that monetizes complex, convoluted methods for unlocking psychic potential. Authentic, unfiltered access to the divine cannot be bought or relentlessly practiced. It is born entirely from the person you choose to be in the dark, when absolutely no one is watching. It stems from your razor-sharp discernment, your boundless compassion, your mastery over your own emotional sovereignty, and your steadfast vow to serve the grand design, rather than violently trying to manipulate reality to your whim. We must draw a severe line in the sand between genuine biological activation and delusional spiritual escapism. True, unadulterated cosmic power carries an excruciating weight of responsibility. It requires hyper-vigilant, unending ethical self-awareness. Fabricated, ego-driven fantasies might stroke your pride and feel temporarily empowering, primarily because they demand absolutely zero sacrifice from you. Authentic multidimensional capability, however, demands everything you have. Allow me to share the most heavily guarded secret in the realm of advanced consciousness research. Those who successfully graduate from the silent universal trial are immediately granted administrative access to the mechanics of reality creation itself. You are handed the reins to quantum field alignment, the navigation of infinite probabilities, and a permanent, live-streaming connection to the cosmic mainframe. Yet, I must repeat, this clearance is not distributed at expensive wellness retreats. It boots up automatically, the very second your internal software proves it can handle the bandwidth without causing collateral damage. The magic was never missing from your life. It was simply placed in a state of suspended quantum animation, patiently waiting for your emotional maturity to finally catch up to your infinite potential. This is the heart of the revolution. Cease your endless, exhausting chase for mystical superpowers. Pivot your entire focus toward the rigorous cultivation of your own character, your discernment, your absolute humility, and your dedication to serving others. Once those foundational pillars are virtually indestructible, the universe will simply hand you the master keys, not as a shiny trophy to boost your ego, but as a profoundly sacred duty. Those 5 distinct signature patterns: effortless manifestation, immediate data retrieval, timeline surfing, magnetic relationship orchestration, and service-oriented power are not isolated disciplines you need to study. They are the inevitable, natural exhaust fumes of a fully awakened, thoroughly prepared consciousness. None of this journey is about achieving personal glory. It is about shouldering an immense cosmic responsibility. Your upgraded biological vessel and its accompanying abilities exist for one singular reason: to elevate the entirety of existence. The most beautiful, paradigm-shattering shift of all is that you completely cease the exhausting act of forcing reality to yield to your desires. You begin to effortlessly and gracefully merge with the flow, watching in awe as the very fabric of existence joyfully rearranges itself to support your highest purpose because it genuinely does. This miraculous state is known as quantum congruence. It is the majestic intersection where your personal willpower and the infinite intelligence of the cosmos become utterly indistinguishable from one another. You require no further techniques. You only need radical trust, unbreakable integrity, and absolute surrender. As we conclude this transmission, I invite you to leave a single, powerful word in the comments below. A word that perfectly encapsulates the specific energy frequency you are consciously choosing to step into from this day forward. Do not treat this as a mere social media comment. Treat it as your sovereign, permanent signature etched directly into the quantum field. Furthermore, if these truths have shaken you awake, do not simply subscribe to this channel. Subscribe permanently to this new, elevated frequency of awakened service. Because as our numbers grow, as more of us boldly step up to embody this profound truth, the faster this entire world will transform. You have successfully arrived. The final threshold is standing wide open. Cross it with me.